With the death of Pope Honorius II on February 13, 1130, a group of mostly French and northern Italian cardinals held an immediate conclave and elected Gregorio Papareschi as Pope Innocent II. As the news of the hurried election got out, a majority of the cardinals from Rome and southern Italy refused to accept the hurried election and elected their own candidate, Pietro Pirlioni, who took the name Anacletus II. Both were consecrated on the following day, February 14, 1130, which started an 8-year schism. Most of the European monarchs, with the exception of Scotland and Aquitaine, sided with Innocent. Much of this support was due to the work and preaching of Bernard of Clairvaux. After the death of Anacletus II, Bernard of Clairvaux was able to reconcile the two sides to accept Innocent II as the legitimate pope. Soon after, Innocent II called the Second Lateran Council in 1139 to restore order and to nullify all the actions of Anacletus II. Many of the canons of this council were simply attempts to restore the decrees of previous popes and restore order to the Church and society.
Canon 3. We utterly prohibit those who have been excommunicated by their bishops to be received by others. Indeed, whoever knowingly presumes to communicate someone who has been excommunicated before he is absolved by the one who excommunicated him is to be held liable to the same sentence. Canon 4. We also enjoin that bishops, as well as clergy, take pains to be pleasing to God and to humans in both their interior and exterior comportment. Let them give no offense in the sight of those for whom they ought to be a model and example by the excess, cut, or color of their clothes, nor with regard to the tonsure. But rather, as is fitting for them, let them exhibit holiness. If after a warning from the bishops, they are unwilling to change their ways, let them be deprived of their ecclesiastical benefices. Canon 9. Moreover, the evil and detestable practice has grown, so we understand, whereby monks and canons regular, after receiving the habit and making their profession, are learning civil law and medicine, with a view to temporal gain, in scornful disregard of the rules of their blessed teachers Benedict and Augustine. In fact, burning with the fire of avarice, they make themselves the advocates of suits. And since they have to neglect the psalmody and hymns, placing their trust in the power of fine rhetoric instead, they confuse what is right and what is wrong, justice and iniquity, by reason of the variety of their arguments. We decree, by apostolic authority, that lawbreakers of this kind, to be severely punished. Canon 15. In the same way, we have decided to legislate that if anyone, at the instigation of the devil, incurs the guilt of the following sacrilege, that is, to lay violent hands on a cleric or a monk, he is to be subject to the bond of anathema. And let no bishop presume to absolve such a person unless he is in immediate danger of death, until he has been presented before the apostolic see and submits to its decision. We also prescribe that nobody dare to lay hands on those who flee to a church or cemetery. If anyone does this, let him be excommunicated. Canon 10. We prohibit, by apostolic authority, that the tithes of churches be possessed by lay people, where canonical authority shows these were assigned for religious purposes. For whether they accept them from bishops or kings, or any person whatsoever, let them know that they are committing the crime of sacrilege and incurring the threat of eternal damnation unless they hand them back to the church. We also direct that lay people who are in possession of churches must either restore them to the bishops or become subject to excommunication. We reiterate our decision that nobody is to hold the office of archdeacon or dean unless he is ordained deacon or priest. Moreover, we forbid the aforesaid honors to be conferred on youths or those not yet in sacred orders. Let them be conferred rather on those who are outstanding in prudence and integrity of life. We also enjoin that churches not to be entrusted to hired priests, and that each and every church with sufficient means is to have its own priest. Canon 16. It is undoubtedly the case that since ecclesiastical honors depend not on blood relationships, but on merit, and since the Church of God awaits successors not on the basis of any right of inheritance, nor according to the flesh, it requires virtuous, wise, and devout persons for its administration and the distribution of its offices. Therefore we prohibit, by apostolic authority, anyone to exercise a claim over, or to demand by hereditary right, churches, or any ecclesiastical offices. If anyone, unjustly, and guilty of ambition, dares to attempt this, he will be duly punished and deprived of the object of his suit. Canon 17. With good reason, we entirely prohibit unions within the bounds of consanguinity. For the teachings of Holy Fathers and the Holy Church of God detest incestuous behavior of this kind, which, under the influence of the enemy of the human race, is engaged in nowadays. Even the secular laws pronounce those born of such a union infamous and refuse them the right of inheritance. Canon 18. We completely detest and forbid, by the authority of God and the blessed apostles Peter and Paul, that most dreadful, devastating, and malicious crime of incendiarism. For this pernicious and inimical calamity surpasses all other kinds of destruction. Nobody is unaware of the extent to which it is injurious to the people of God, and the damage it brings to souls and bodies. It is necessary, therefore, to oppose it, and to labor with all one's might, that so great a harm and danger be eradicated and suppressed, for the sake of the people. If anyone then, after the publication of this prohibition of ours, from some wicked design, born of hate or vengeance, starts a fire, or causes it to be started, or knowingly provides counsel or help to those starting one, let him be excommunicated. And when an arsonist dies, he is to be deprived of a Christian burial. Nor is he to be absolved unless, having first made reparation for the loss, according to his means, and he swears that he will never raise a fire again. Moreover, let him be given the penance of remaining a whole year in Jerusalem or Spain, in the service of God. Canon 26. We decree that the pernicious and detestable custom which has spread among some women, who although they live neither according to the rule of blessed Benedict, nor Basil, nor Augustine, yet wish to be thought of by everyone as nuns, is to be abolished. For when, living according to the rule in monasteries, they ought to be in church, or in the refectory, or dormitory in common, they build for themselves their own retreats, and private dwelling places where, under the guise of hospitality, indiscriminately, and without any shame, they receive guests and secular persons, contrary to the sacred canons and good morals. Canon 30. We render void the ordinances enacted by Peter Leoni and other schismatics and heretics, and deem them null.